Hello guys. Alright, let's see. I watched a little bit of Nika's stream before I started here. Not just to find the queue, but also to check out what was good and interesting. And they banned the thing I wanted to play! I want to play Mordred. Mordred looks great. Now I don't know what to play at all. Oh, Aladdin's open.
Select your god.
Finally, an Aladdin game.
Aladdin.
Aladdin. I wonder how close I am to mastery on at this point. Can't be that far away by now. Oh, actually, I'm gonna do a quick mic test. Make sure it works. Alright, that sounds fine. I guess I'm against Bologna? Rank 10 Bologna? I can't tell if I'm lagging or not, but buying potions lagged. And I changed a few things in my HUD editor as well. So I made a few adjustments. Made some things smaller, some things bigger. Mostly I made things smaller to have some more visual clarity. The map is a little bit transparent. I cannot tell at all, honestly, if I'm lagging or not. I need to fix my mana though, because that looks like ass. Let's just make it bigger again. I wanted to make it a bit smaller because I don't think it's as important as health, and I wanted to separate them a bit, but never mind.
Have spawned.
Well, this is my warm-up game, so kind of hope that my enemy Bologna isn't that good, but I doubt it. I feel like I've seen the name before.
Record.
Actually feels fine. Hopefully it stays fine.
To me, Jimmy. Your middle tower is under attack. To me, Jimmy. To me, Jimmy. Record. First blood.
Artemis Beats.
An ally has been
I
slain.
say, that was a horrific shame.
It's just a farm game for me.
Your right
I won't
tower
really be able
is
to duel
under
Bologna
attack.
early.
An enemy has been slain. Record.
Okay.
An ally has been slain.
Okay.
Okay.
Was that a server thing?
Your middle tower is under attack. Okay. Your middle tower is under attack. Record. I am wishful. Well.
Let's just get the wealth now. Finish my stuff on my back.
An enemy has been slain. You have that spark of magic in you. Follow them. An ally has been slain. Record. Your middle tower is under attack. Record. To me, Genie. Enemy missing right.
Retreat!
He doesn't really protect him yet. Might be able just to poke him a little bit.
Recall!
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Yeah, he does heal it back up though.
Your right tower is under attack.
Fair.
Your right tower is under attack.
To me!
Your left tower is under attack.
To me! Recall!
Oh yeah, they changed the fountain healing as well. Not really sure why. I thought it was fine before, but I guess I kind of understand it. I don't think it matters that much either way.
Your middle tower is under attack.
missing
Your
left.
left tower is under attack.
Recall! Come on then, Jimmy!
I really thought he was gonna beat my blue there. Very surprised it didn't. Well, it's my mouse. That might be a hair in it. It keeps stuttering a bit.
Your right tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack.
To me, Jimmy!
Oh no, there definitely is a bit of a weird lag on this server too, but it's not terrible. I feel like it is definitely playable for me.
Recall!
I don't know why I always get bad servers.
Right!
Just annoying. But I definitely felt it on that jump.
To me, Jimmy!
I'll just try and play with it. Not really much else to do.
Enemy missing left! Recall! Recall!
An ally has been slain. Retreat!
I'm falling a bit behind now.
Enemies in left lane! To me, Jimmy!
Your right tower is under attack.
How the fuck? Where did Thor come from? I fucking went and looked for him too. Wild.
An ally has been slain.
To me, Jimmy!
Your left tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack. Your left tower is under attack. Your right tower is under attack.
Defend! Please? Thanks!
Enemy missing left.
Oops.
Killing spree.
Party! Party!
On my way.
An ally has been slain. Killing spree. Yes. Your left tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack. Your right tower is under attack.
Yeah, I might just be an F6 angle. If everyone's losing, and we end up really having to rely on potentially me, who is also lagging, is not looking good for us. So yeah, if everyone just surrenders next time, I'll just follow. Don't really have any reason to stick around.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your right tower is under attack. Killing spree. An enemy has been slain. Your right tower is under attack. Your left tower is under attack. Okay.
Enemy missing left. Be careful middle. To me, Ginny.
An ally has been slain. Double kill. Rampage.
To me.
I didn't even get to press.
Your middle
That's
tower
a-
is under attack.
That sucks, man. Not really much to do.
Defeat.
And this was just a... It wasn't really a winning lane, necessarily. It was just a stalemating lane.
An enemy has left the game. An ally.
I did
has
not
left
have
the
fun.
game. Your middle tower is under attack. An ally has left the game. An ally has left the
Oh, they gotta fucking fix that. An ally has left the game. How much did I even lose for that? I forgot to check. I have no idea. Like, I really do like Aladdin, but like, I feel like the last few times, like two of the same things always happen. I feel when I get Aladdin. One, I have a great server, and this happens. My team essentially just kind of loses. This was kind of like the worst of both worlds. My team lost, and I wasn't a bad server, but like one of those two things always happen when I pick Aladdin. That's one of the reasons why I haven't been as interested in playing him lately. It's usually banned anyway, so it doesn't matter, but I still really want to play him. It's just I feel less incentivized to do it because he's so heavily focused around late game. I kind of need to just farm for mid game unless I'm into something where I can actually fight, and Bologna just isn't one of them. She's more tanky, she heals. Like, maybe I can poke her down and then kind of go in at some point, but that's kind of it. Like, it needs the perfect scenario, but since we're falling behind, it becomes more tough for me to try and play aggressive. And then I tried to rotate, it was too late at that time. I didn't really make it in time. But yeah, I don't know how long I'll be streaming today. I have a few other things that I need to do. So I might just need to leave eventually. So this might be a, like a 30-minute stream. Hopefully it won't be 30 minutes. But I'm expecting maybe like an hour or two. So hopefully it won't be too short. I would like it to be a bit longer, but essentially if I get a specific message, I might just need to leave. Obviously, hopefully finishing the game that I'm currently in, if that happens. Well, if Vexel shows up today, I did promise to play Umoja, so that is on the menu, eventually. Let's try again. I mean, worst case scenario, I just revert to Chuck. We'll see. I really do want to play Mordred with the changes. Oh, well, I guess I'm not playing it this game. Maybe I can try and get Bari. No, man! I mean, I'm not solo anyway, so the Mordred ban just triggered something in me. It doesn't even matter right now. But people should stop banning Mordred, even though I get it, because he is pretty good now. Still. Let's see if I get mid instead, actually. Okay. No mid for me. Guess all ADC.
Select your god.
Sure. We'll take Soul. Maybe I just do a chalk. Yeah, I mean Mordred and whatever. I'll just do a chalk because the one I want to play with the most is Mordred. I didn't realize he was saying anything in chat. I was to focus on my chat, my non-existent chat, looking over while thinking. All good though. He still managed to get it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Nimbus. I'm usually distracted by a bunch of other things, so I don't really read in-game chats as much when I stream. No, man, we had such a good comp. Fuck. That's tragic. This patch finally added something I'm really excited to play more of, which is Mordred here. And then it's so good that people are gonna ban it now. I hate it. I don't want that. Stop banning Mordred. That being said, banning Mordred leaves a bunch of other stuff open. Like, Ammo's been open both games and just hasn't been picked, but like, was Ammo even nerfed? Let me pull up the patch again. I don't think Ammo was touched at all. Oh, actually, before I do anything. Let me grab the Aladdin skin. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Let me just go through this shit real fast. No, there's no Ammo on this list. I mean, Ammo should still be really good then. I mean, I kind of want to play that Mordred. No. Hmm. I don't even know what to ban. Actually, yeah, I do. Get Finn out of my face.
Select your god.
And I want to play Bari then. It's probably gonna go horribly wrong, being my first time and all, but... What? Odin? Oh, we're picking a great comp into an Odin Thor comp here. I love it. Poseidon, jungle, Bari, solo. Let's go. Oh no. Dude, what is their team? Someone dodge. Someone dodge, man. We're not winning this game. I don't fucking believe it. They have to royally fuck up, I feel like, for us to lose this game. Or for us to win this game. They do have a weird comp, though. Is that going to be an Afro mid, then? They have, like, 3 frontliners here. One of them is going to be a weird one. Like, it could easily be, like, solo jungle support type thing, obviously, with these 3, which wouldn't hurt them too much. But they do have a very strange comp, too. Suppose we'll just see what happens. I definitely think I will struggle no matter what I'm against. Just because I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I might go a little bit tanky, just in case. Otherwise I feel like I'm just gonna get camped. I do know Bari does not have great escapability. I can very easily be walled off. And with Odin Thor, that might be not good for me. So I might have to go for a single item at least of protection. Do I just do Shell? I actually think I need to go Shell. Yeah, screw it. Warrior's Axe. Trans is not going to be great because I don't have mana. Bragg's Heart, maybe? I don't really know. Maybe I do the Zeus build that I usually do. Guys, I don't know what to build. Or I just go Int. I want to try the Int build first. It might be worse, but I do want to try Mage Bari first before I go into potentially a Strength build. I think if I want to be Brawler, I think Strength build is better.
Have good luck.
Annyeong, nice to meet you. Have a good time.
Which one ability do I start with, though? The 1? No, it very much seems like I should start with a 3. 3 it is.
Minions have spawned.
Awesome.
Awesome!
Maybe I do Lifebinder, actually.
Awesome!
Maybe that's the way to go.
Awesome!
To make sure that I survive this lane. Because I am into a Chuck. We'll see how the laning phase goes. Jack doesn't seem that good, so maybe I can take advantage of that.
Be careful left!
I should have waited. Yeah, I mean, against any good player there, I'm just gonna get screwed. He's just gonna invade me.
Your right tower is under attack.
All I know about her is what I tried in practice, in case anyone was wondering why I knew what she was doing. I saw a bit on Nika's stream, and then I tried her myself. Toa, stop. some loud noises and the dog doesn't like it outside at the moment.
An enemy has been slain. Nice job.
I gotta get used to that. There's also a passive built into it too. I'm just back here to stay safe.
Set up an ambush here. An ally has been slain. On my way. Your middle tower is under attack. Your right tower is under attack. An enemy has been slain. Oops. Thanks. Killing spree. That's too bad. Out of mana. Double kill. Your middle tower is under attack.
Unfortunate. At least I got his ult for it.
Enemy missing middle.
I already forgot. Did he blink? Chat, help. Did he blink? I feel like I heard that sound, but I forgot already. Can't buy it yet.
An ally has been slain. That's too bad. Good. No.
Enemy missing right.
Not looking too well on mid.
Your middle tower is under attack.
She's gonna be a hard character to zone as well. She does have one ability she can throw out.
Rampage.
This is not good, looking good.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your right tower is under attack.
Why not just hold out as we might as just wait for like 45 seconds. So I can TP back.
Killing spree. No problem.
She's definitely great at anti-diving, for sure, just because of the ultimate. So there is that advantage.
Has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Your middle
Spec for
tower
Lifebinder.
is under attack.
I'll just continue, I guess. I'll just not have... I'll just not have Book of Thoth in this game.
You have been slain.
Okay. Never got my shell off. I just died. Did press it, but I'll take a 1-for-1.
An enemy has been slain.
I feel like I honestly could have survived. If I played that a bit better.
Your right tower.
I knew one was coming. I didn't think there was 3. Did not expect both Thor and Odin.
Rampage. Nice job.
What a weird mix of skill levels in this game.
Your right tower is under
There's like
attack.
one heavy feeder on each team.
I need the jungle buff. Thanks. Be careful, middle.
Still even XP though. Just because he died as well.
Your middle tower is under attack. No problem. I'll defend. Under attack. Killing spree. Your right
Dude.
tower is under attack.
Okay, that's twice now that both have ganked. And I don't have a single rotation to solo in any way, shape or form. I don't think I could have played that much better, to be honest. That's good.
An enemy has been slain. Your right tower is under attack. An ally has
That's
been
not good now.
slain.
Does suck he has brawlers that early. Kinda lessens the effect of my life binder.
Be careful. Your middle tower is under attack. An enemy has been slain. Rampage. Your middle tower is under attack. Enemy missing. Double kill.
Missed.
Your right tower is under attack.
I like it. Good balance.
Actually, when I think about it, the last gank, I definitely could have done better than I did when I think about it now. Because I shelled way too late. I was thinking I didn't need to get out of the Odin ult.
Gank right lane. Your middle
missing.
tower is under attack.
The Pyromancer has arrived.
It's unfortunate I couldn't get in, go over the Thor wall. I could have shelled him too. Wasn't even sure my ult reached him.
You have slain an enemy. It is not possible. Retreat right lane.
I do not know where Thor is. Yes. What? Was I silenced? Is that... Wait, actually, when I think about it, is that my own ult doing that? Yeah, when taking lethal damage, become immune, silenced, and disarmed. Dude, I'm fucking myself by ulting. That's so annoying. That actually feels bad. I'm not gonna lie. That feels terrible. I can save my... I should just shell them and not ult, because I want to be able to try and kill them and defend myself. Not having beads at this point is really bad though, but not having shell at all is even worse. And we don't have a shell, so... let's get rid of the soul gem.
An enemy has been slain.
Enemy missing middle.
At least that they still did kill the Chuck. Like, that was still a pretty big kill for me, but... Nevertheless.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy tower. Nice job.
What do I actually get for leveling the ult? Pulse damage. That's nice. Just damage, I guess. Yeah, okay. It's just damage.
An enemy has been slain.
Enemy missing right.
An ally has been slain.
I see.
I'll attack.
Enemies have returned.
Enemy ultimate down.
Right lane.
Yes.
Enemy missing middle. Killing spree. No problem.
Still got my ult at least. I kind of thought my team was gonna rotate. Odin, Chuck, ult.
Slain. Your right tower has been destroyed. Attack the gold enemies in right lane.
One day, I want Poseidon to be here when Thor is here. It would really help. Because I think we can kill them. I can survive for so long and do a lot of damage in the process. I should have fallen back though. Like, I knew Odin was coming. I just didn't realize Chuck was behind me, I guess.
Your team has
Fuck me,
destroyed
dude.
the gold fury.
That's on me. I'll take the blame for that one though. I need to just play more, just a bit more safe. Just a bit more safe.
Be careful left. Be careful
Enemy
left.
missing middle.
Enemy missing right.
Shut down.
Be careful left.
On my way.
Enemy missing.
This isn't really a good fight. Like, no one else is coming.
That's too bad. been slain. Enemies in the fire giant.
We just need Hades alive, though. I'm not sure how, if he died just to Aphrodite there, but
Your
that kind of
middle
sucks.
tower is under attack. An ally has been slain. Enemies in the fire. Destroy the left enemy tower. The enemy team has destroyed the fire.
Just looking a little cooked. Just too big of a difference. I think at this point I also... Like, Chuck is definitely doing more than me. Just for the simple fact that he knows what he's doing on Chuck more than I do on Bari. I would imagine. Still though, I don't think my laning phase could have been done much different. I just needed more help. Like, this support ganking me 3 times is unhinged as hell. Without getting any support, that would have happened. I would have died on anyone else too.
Your left tower is under attack. Be careful, middle. Defend. Be careful. On my way. Follow me. Killing spree.
Enemy ultimate down.
He does have dagger, so I don't think killing him is gonna be easy. How is he that tanky?
An ally has been slain.
Oh, he missed the one. That sucks for Poseidon, man. He's probably dead as a result.
Killing spree. An ally has been slain.
He's so tanky, man. This Berserker is just crazy. It was kind of surprising not seeing Berserkers being nerfed. This item's being built into many fucking things.
Your middle tower has been destroyed. Your middle phoenix is under attack. Shut down. Double kill.
Any pluggers?
Double kill. Okay.
On my way.
That's too bad.
On my way.
On my way. Follow me. Unstoppable. An ally has been slain.
My ult wasn't up yet. That sucks, man.
That's too bad.
On her whining that we didn't get there in time, fair enough. But he also literally just jumped in on 2 tanks. I don't generally recommend doing that. Can't fully blame us for that one.
Defend left lane. Hi.
We're too scared of this Thor, man.
The enemy team has destroyed the gold.
We're way too scared of him. He should have died there.
Curse it.
Bari can definitely like throw out a bunch of damage.
Divine.
I mean, I feel like I need pen so badly. I'm just gonna go Obsidian Shard. How does she feel? She feels pretty good, but this game is not a great tell. Like, Hades just should not be in this game. The Susan should not be in this game, I guess. I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh on Zeus. He's just kind of getting camped a bit, but Thor is running this game very, very easily. I was 3-man ganked 3 times in my lane, surviving it a few times or for very long, but just without getting any help.
Has been slain. Shut down. An ally has been slain.
I did shell him. Not that I think it would have helped him to get out. I think it was dead anyway. She's cool though. I'll say that. She is pretty cool. Like I like her kit.
Enemies at the fire giant.
Double kill.
Like she dish out some pretty good damage. We just don't have any fucking secure for that. We should have just fallen back. That's so tragic we didn't get fire. But our secure was so fucking ass.
Enemies incoming left.
Be right back. An ally has been slain. Your team has destroyed the Pyromancer. Your left tower has been destroyed.
Yank!
Your left tower is under attack. That's too bad. An ally has been slain. Red left lane, on the way. Your left tower has been destroyed.
Hunter! Hunter!
Red Phoenix! Slain an enemy. Your right tower.
It doesn't even matter if I shell. I just die in that silence. And Honor still didn't get out, man. Why did he run? Fuck me.
Your right tower is under attack. An ally has been slain.
Oh well. Everyone else died too.
Your middle Phoenix has been destroyed. Your Titan is under attack. Your right tower.
She is definitely fun. She would be more fun in this game if we had our Hades. That's about it. Hades is quite... like, you saw what happened with Thor there. There's no way he should have died. Hades is so incredibly good into Thor because he can just fear him away.
Defeat.
Your left Phoenix is under attack.
It's just unfortunate. I mean, yeah.
Your left Phoenix is under attack.
I can't even blame the Hades. Like, he just shouldn't be in this game. It just sucks for the rest of us. That's it.
An enemy has left the game.
Still though, being like, I definitely had the advantage in my lane once I finished a few items. I even ended up killing, like, solo killing Chuck, like, a bit later after all the ganks. So it sucks that I had kind of got camped that early and put behind for no reason. Oh no. I mean, if I'm forced to go jungle, then I'm not really sure what I'm gonna play. Never won a game I deserve to lose more. Well, I mean, I get it, yeah, it's tough. It's tough out there. I mean, our Hades was something else. Dude, I don't even know what to play. I don't play jungle. I do not know what to pick in this situation. How does junglers even start? Hey, so Yeto's in this game. It's been a fucking while. And Vexel, I did promise you to play Yemoja. If I actually get fucking solo, pick Susano and pray, I will not play Susano. Oh, thank God, it was a dodge. That's the only time I'm gonna say fuck yes.
Select your god.
Do not put me in jungle. It is by far my least enjoyed role, and I fucking hate it. I hate it. Oh, did you name change, Rage? Yeah, that Hades made it real hard to win that game for us. I also struggled a bit in the early game because I had to figure out how to play this god. But she's actually she's super fun. I actually really do like her. She's got a nice flow to her. Tilted me? What do you mean? Oh, you mean Willip? That sucks, man. Willip was having a tough time as well. He was your Hades. I think you tilted our you tilted our Hades quite a bit. That dude did not think he had any chance against you. Which turned out to be true. And I was a little sad, because Hades is honestly one of the better gods against Thor. just because of the fear. Yes, I'm solo. Rage, tell me I'm not against you, because then I feel like it's already over. You're just gonna kill my randoms. And I'm sitting on solo island, just being sad. Okay, we're not banning anything now. I'm banning Thor though, just in case. Not that I think it's gonna make a difference.
Select your god.
Let's try this Mordred thing. It almost hurt having to not pick Aladdin here, because I already do want to play Aladdin as well, but I need to try out this Mordred stuff. Like, Mordred's just OP now. Don't be Vexel. I will shit a peanut if that is wet Vexel. I cannot show it on stream though. You'll just have to trust me. Ooh. The Aladdin straight into the Wheelix. And she will always have ult for you, because nothing else will be able to. Well, we don't have any other jumps. And what? You have... Like, she's got her own knock-up as well as the Yemoja thing, I suppose. Dude, okay, I was about to get real sad with another dodge. Well, I think we need anti-healing this game, my friends. At least we have Sobek. Okay, it is, in fact, not Mr. Vexel on that emoji. That's surprising. He loves that shit. It's crazy. It definitely smells like a Beats game. Bluestone or Warriors? I want to do Bluestone. Especially with the even more crazy ability spam you can do now. Oh, the tower line is so nice now. So smooth and clean. Aphrodite. Well, it's gonna be a really boring lane.
Minions have spawned.
Should have dashed first. Alright. I got a TP, boys. I'll take this. I'll take that little win.
My mana restores you.
Just grab the smalls.
Be careful.
No worries. We can fix this.
Restores you. My mana
Slain
will
an enemy.
return to the world.
Be careful. Enemy missing.
Allow me to heal your wounds.
All right. Enemy missing now.
Do not test me.
An ally has been slain.
Let's see if I can just zone.
Be gone.
An ally has been slain.
Allow me to heal your wounds.
Fortunately, I don't think I can do much about that just yet. It's not 5 though. Maybe I can zone now.
Be careful, middle.
Do not test me.
Weird exchange. Well, that sucks.
Yes.
Yes.
That was a really bad lag spike timing.
Tower is under attack.
It's fucking wasted our abilities. Servers have definitely been weird today. That's the second really big lag spike that I've had in only 3 games still, but or like I guess in 3 games it's not really huge. But it's still very annoying. Happened in my first game as well.
Be careful.
Farewell.
Retreat. Enemies in the left jungle. An enemy has been slain. Nice job, my flufftastic friend.
This fucking voice pack.
Enemy missing left. An ally has been slain. Your right tower is under attack. Okay, enemy missing.
They just backed on the spot? Both of them? That's so weird. God damn it. I thought that was going to be a really good rotation too. Now I lost XP for it.
Your left tower is under attack.
Give me the XP. I didn't get shit.
Enemy missing left. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Oh, crumbs. I'm slain an enemy.
Even the genie was impressed.
An enemy has been slain. Your left tower is under attack. Friend. Or die. Enemy missing left.
I do need some anti-healing when I can, honestly. Probably do that after I finish my suckers.
Enemy spotted. Enemy spotted. Be careful, right? Enemies incoming. Your middle tower is under attack. Be careful. An ally has been slain. Enemy missing.
My lord restores you.
Killing spree. You rock.
Attack!
See if I can make it back and get the majority of this.
Your left tower is under attack. Ultimate is down.
Ultimate is down.
Be careful. An ally has been slain. Your middle tower is under attack. Enemies in the left wing.
My blessing to you, Savior. My mana restores you.
Retreat left lane. On my way.
Yes.
Ultimate is down.
Torment yourself.
Follow me.
Shut down.
Dispel their attack.
Slain an enemy.
Welcomes me.
On my way. Torment to your soul.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Double kill.
It's unfortunate that he died in the end. He could have just gotten out if he really wanted to. Would have finished her off.
Allow me to heal your wounds.
I'm not sure I like the new, like, brute minion, I believe they called it. Like the one that has like a glowing shield now. Like there's just an even more tanky wave. Feels a bit unnecessary to me, but... I get the logic behind it, but it feels a bit rough when you still have the big Minotaur. Some waves are gonna be wildly tanky, you know. Or at least one extra minion will be. Alright, let's grab the anti-healing. Could maybe just do brawlers as well. But nah. I think I'll just try and stay tanky this game. That makes the most
An
sense.
enemy has been slain.
Next up, I'll do Pritwin.
Double kill. Killing spree.
Well done indeed.
Feel no pain.
Enemy ultimate down.
An ally has been slain.
Allow me to heal your wounds. My mind must test you.
I'm the cuddliest on this playmat. Be careful.
There's not really much to do in this lane now. Just keep rotating.
Retreat, right lane.
Do not test me.
Shut down.
Torment to your soul. missing left.
Retreat! Enemy missing! Your left tower is under attack.
Be gone.
Now there's 2 brood minions? The hell, man?
An enemy has been slain.
Gank.
Double kill. Enemy missing. Be careful.
Cigarette. I don't know why he's running past it.
Your team has destroyed the Gold Fury. Be careful. Enemy ultimate down. Be careful, right? Be careful. An ally has been slain.
We really gotta group into some objectives. Gold is at least down, but we have such a big lead. We really should use it.
Be careful.
I want to grab Pharaoh's Curse actually before I do anything else. I think that slow is kind of nice for me.
Retreat. Under attack. An enemy has been slain.
Stay alert.
Your right tower is under attack. Be careful. Retreat.
Torment to your soul.
I feel like we should fight. It's a good fight. Like, I don't think they can deal with me at all at the moment, so we should really just fight as much as we can.
Be right back. An enemy has been slain. Killing spree.
Feel no my monarch.
Once again, I feel like we're just being scared.
An enemy has been
Like, there we go. If we just have more, if we have more people, they just all die. Could have done that way before.
Retreats! Enemies incoming!
save
A
yourself.
tonic or a trinket?
Enemy ultimate down.
Your middle tower is under attack. Oh my fluff, that was awesome!
Destroyed the fire.
Damn it! I thought I got my ult. Shit.
Has arrived.
Attack middle lane. Attack middle lane.
Spell their attack.
Destroyed a middle enemy tower. Be careful. Your right tower is under attack. Your right tower is under attack. An ally has been slain.
Damn it, dude. I tried to press anything. Fuck. Nothing just went off. I should just beats. It's completely on me. I forgot I had beats.
Double kill. Triple kill. Killing spree.
That's cool.
Deicide.
We lost dagger too. That sucks.
Okay.
I could have played that better, for sure. I kinda just got caught for no reason.
On my way.
Completed. Defend the Gold Fury.
The enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
You have slain an enemy. An ally has been slain. An enemy has
Damn.
been slain.
Well, it sucks that we lost 2 people ourselves.
Your left tower is under attack. Your left tower is under attack.
I should have bought some warts. We gotta set up for fire now.
An enemy has been slain. Enemies in the right jungle.
I'll gank middle lane. On my way.
Gank middle lane.
Attack.
That was genius.
Your middle tower is under attack. An enemy has been slain.
This fucking minion stopping me from doing anything. Getting into the fucking lamp. It's so troll. Sitting there trying to interact.
Destroy the right enemy Phoenix.
Retreat. Torment to your soul.
It's back. Finish that. Just got a bunch of warts now.
And soul.
I actually want to keep my chalice. I want to just keep healing like a maniac.
Enemies in right lane.
Yes. Attack the fire giant.
Yes.
Your right tower is under attack. Your right tower has been destroyed.
I'll defend right lane.
Your team has destroyed the pyramid.
See if he knows I'm coming or not.
Your right
Enemy
tower
missing
is under
right.
attack.
Enemy missing right.
Your team has destroyed the fire giant.
Never mind. I'm not TP then.
To your soul. Or die.
At least Sobek with dagger should be unkillable now, right?
Your team has destroyed a left enemy tower.
My blessing to you. My mana be gone.
Not even sure what happened in the back. Did you 2v1 people? Is that what happened?
To your soul. To your soul.
To me, Jimmy.
Die.
Our sails are made. Hero be gone.
Shut down.
Do not. Allow me to heal your wounds.
This was some of the messiest team fighting I've ever experienced in my life. Like, how are we just not getting any phoenixes out of these? We're still kind of winning them, but not by much. I just need this game to end. It's going on for too long.
tonic or a trinket.
At least we do still have one Phoenix, so we still have a pretty nice advantage going into team fighting in fire.
Enemy spotted.
Attack left lane! Killing spree! Be careful, one enemy missing!
Your team has destroyed a left enemy Phoenix.
Healing!
Yes. Attack the fire giant.
Be right back!
Destroyed the fire giant.
I'll take it then, if no one else wants to. No 3k pot for me though. That kinda sucks. Missed the wall.
An enemy has been slain.
Just tank it for a little bit until I can't anymore. We need Artemis. Like I do think I see what's happening. Artemis goes for kills, and we never actually killed the Phoenix. Just fucking attack the Phoenix.
Until next time.
Victory.
Super weird game. Feel like we should have ended so long ago. I could do one last, but that's actually just my time limit. So didn't end up being a super short stream. Nevertheless.
An enemy has left the game.
Mordred is pretty fun, but I feel like I've reached my fatigue on Mordred a little bit. He was my most played god for a reason. I think I just kind of fatigued out on him a bit. He definitely feels broken though. I'm not gonna lie, he just doesn't have any cooldowns now with the new aspect. which as a result makes him just charge his ult even faster, and then just always have ult. Like there's absolutely no way I don't see Mordred being broken in solo. At least in ranked. I think in competitive, maybe that's not the case. I could see people just... He still suffers from the same problems. Like, he's pretty easy to lock down. So when he ults in, you just beat it and kill him. Like, him having a bit more attack speed and some lower cooldown might not change that. But he definitely feels broken when you're not able to just stop him. Because his aspect is crazy. Like, it is very good. And I do believe you can aim the ult now in some way. I haven't tested that. I actually completely forgot. I didn't really notice any difference, but maybe that's just because I didn't move. I think you can aim it. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe that wasn't implemented. I'm not sure. I don't see it anywhere. Either way, he is really good. His ultimate also healed him now, which is also a pretty big deal, especially when it comes to some potential turnaround. In that game, it was kind of hard to land an ult because, I mean, they had Afro on top of the usual beats and stuff. They had AoE beats as well in Jamoja, so hitting a big ult was almost impossible. But using it just for mobility and getting to places is still good, or just for bait. Like in the last team fight, I just used it for bait, going into the Phoenix without actually doing anything with it. Oh yeah, I wanted to check the Aladdin skin, but then I joined a queue before. Let's see. I mean, it looks cool. I do like it. Is it better than his Radiant though? Because I'm not that far away from his Radiant, am I? Ah, well, okay, maybe I still kind of am. I feel like I like Aladdin enough to get a skin on him. I'll grab it. It's a cool one. Haven't seen the effects though. Maybe I hate the effects. Should we look at that first? What else did we get? Got a raw skin. Probably get that one eventually. Classic Susano skin. I've never been a huge fan of it, but it is kind of iconic. I like the Jingwei skin, but I don't play her enough to get it. I do wish, actually, because you get these tokens, right? That you can get one for free, basically. So I don't have to use my gems, but I would prefer using my gems here than the token. Not that it really matters, but I don't actually want to use my token on hers. Even if I wanted it, I would just spend gems on it. I want to make sure that I can get something that I actually want. But I suppose I can just do this instead. If I go to the chests and just buy the classic collection stuff, it just costs me diamond or my legacy gems anyway, so that way I can get everything else. Alright, this is a bit of a bigger queue than the other one was. That's good. That being said, I feel like the bigger queues often leads to me having bad servers for some fucking reason. Might just be me being unlucky. I really hope that's not the case in this one. Clean Mordred, thank you, man. It's not that hard to be clean on Mordred now that he's broken. He's just really, really good. Just got massive buffs. There's gonna be a lot more Mordred now because of it. How much my twos things got to know. I was Acne. Yeah, that's fair. Acne is also pretty much the same. He didn't get anything big. Bari. Okay. Not sure what I want to play into that. I imagine that's probably going to be solo. If it's Nika. I can actually check. Is it? Maybe I'm cheating. Yeah, it is Nika. Okay. I do feel like playing Chuck.
Select your god.
Mordred's also open if I want to do that. But I don't really feel like playing it again. Yeah, I'll do Chuck. I like it into Morrigan as well. That being said, I am kind of giving her ammo. Chuck is pretty good for them as well, especially if I go anti-healing. I don't know who our lowest elo here is, but I do recognize everyone else on the enemy team. So I hope this won't be like a one game or like a one guy Andy situation where we just end up having one person who shouldn't be in the game. Maybe just a doomer. I believe in him. Actually, I don't know their nemesis, but that kind of feels like a rename. It does feel like a Blink game, actually. Don't think I need anything in specific. I think I can allow myself to.
That's too bad.
Hot golly, 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 golly.
Fine. No problem. Good game. Awesome. No. I'm returning to base. Fine. See you later. Curses. Return to base. Thanks.
I hope you have a riveting time.
Out of mana. No. Good game.
Minions have spawned.
Who's that jungler? Oh, it's Nemesis. That makes sense. Morrigan. They do have. They're very ability based on that team.
Okay.
Not even level 2, man. Guess we're both late as fuck. How are we not level 2? Damn it. Really didn't think I had to do that. It's gonna be a learning experience though, going into Bari. It's also the result of me actually not going for double pots as I usually do on Chuck. It feels a bit awkward, I feel like, without it. Because he uses his escapability, you know, to clear the wave, so it's pretty easy to get poked, but I also decided to take that fight. I wanted to see if I could.
Your left tower is under attack. Enemy missing left.
On my way.
Where did he go? Oh, he backed. Okay.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your right tower is under attack.
Thought I was gonna hit 5 off of this. That is kind of tragic.
Attack the minion, Danger. An enemy has been slain. Attack! An enemy has been slain.
That sucks, man.
That's too bad.
What was her... Fuck, what's she called again? Bari. Bari ult.
Your left tower is under attack.
Damn it, that kind of sucks. I ended up only ulting because Nemesis came over. I just thought I was dead anyway. Wanted to see if I could just get something out of it. She hurts though. Like Warriors X Bari with...
Fine.
Okay. I imagine she's going to be a lot worse into something that is more tanky. So if I went protection, I think she would struggle a bit more, maybe. I have no clue.
Enemy missing left. Cancel that.
Nope. She just fucking hurts.
An enemy has been slain.
I just need to sit back for now. I have a full level behind now. I lost the big creep. Aw, man.
Good game. Bye.
Damn, I'm really far behind in XP now. That's crazy.
Be careful, right?
The guilty always fall. Nowhere to go. My domain.
An enemy has been
back.
slain.
Attack!
An ally has been slain.
Attack!
An enemy has been slain. Your right tower is under attack.
Really not exactly what I was hoping for.
Attack! 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 Attack!
Completed.
I mean, if Bacchus hit anything, that would have been great. I was just waiting for that. Anything, man. I'll get my 1-2. No way. He didn't hit anything. Then
Your middle tower is under attack.
that sucks. Kind of gave up the wave for it. Ra did take it though. Ow! Jesus Christ, man. Hit 2 twice fucking hurts. Ow. I'm just gonna sit back and observe. And learn.
Be right back.
An enemy has been slain. On my way. That's too bad. An enemy has been slain. I'm the greatest. Fine.
Enemy missing.
Enemy missing left. Enemy missing middle. Enemies in right flank. An ally has been slain. Enemy missing left. Cancel that. Killing spree. An ally has been slain. That's too bad.
Really not exactly what I was hoping for.
Your right tower is under attack. Your right tower has been destroyed.
You stupid fucking Minotaur, man! Keep losing XP because of you, or gold mainly. Fuck, man, that's like a minus 50-ish gold, at least. Just because he can't stop moving his ass towards the tower.
exactly what I was hoping for.
Ow.
The Pyromancer has arrived.
Enemies in the left lane.
Okay, that's too bad.
An enemy has been slain.
I don't know if this whoever was here is still here.
Your team has destroyed a right enemy tower. Killing spree!
I'm the greatest.
An ally has been slain.
Okay.
Ultimate is ready.
Ultimate is ready.
Oh, yippee!
Enemy spotted. Help! Help!
On my way.
Slain an enemy.
It's a big kill I don't deserve.
Nowhere to run. Let me.
Alright. Didn't I believe need ult it. Something stunned me. Did not expect that many people there, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had two options. Jump over to blue or jump over to the teleporter. Turns out teleporter was the wrong choice.
Behind us.
Retreat, right lane. Enemy missing.
Yeah, I need some cooldown.
Bask in celestial adoration.
Enemy spotted.
Your left tower is under attack. Rampage!
Enemy ultimate down.
Enemy missing middle.
Your team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
I managed to steal it, so I'll take it.
Your left tower is under attack.
But holy shit, she hurts, man.
Your left tower is under attack.
I only tried her going full int, basically. Though with a life binder, which was... it was alright for laning phase, but it kind of ended up being not great. I still did the most damage in that whole game, though, so it definitely wasn't bad. But she definitely might be better as physical. That being said, I do think Shark isn't the best in terms of full damage, at least. Like, full damage Shark is just not going to be able to fight a lot of stuff. He's not really that good in lane, I think. Or like into 2 or 3 items. I think he starts losing a bunch of stuff then. Because it's just a squishy Chuck. Once he's done his combo, like you're done. You're done your thing.
Attack! Enemy missing right. Retreat! That's too bad. Enemy ultimate down! Enemies in the place.
Enemies at the fire giant.
Your middle tower is under attack. The enemy team has destroyed the Pyromancer.
Help! Ultimate is down. Completed. That's too bad. An enemy has been slain.
I kind of wish I had something that could fight a bit easier.
Your
Because I
team
do
has
want to try and fight her
destroyed the
more,
middle
just to get to
enemy
know the
tower.
character a bit better.
Enemy missing left. Be careful middle.
Ultimate is down. Ultimate is down.
This could be really big.
Okay. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. That's too bad. Shut down.
Illuminated brilliant.
There's no running.
Restoration. Embraced by divine renewal. Gank. Bolt attack. Illuminated brilliance. Celestial restoration.
Damn it, there's always someone to go take the Warhorn. Bari was still dead. Who did it this time? Must have been Nemesis.
Enemy missing left.
Be careful. I'm going for jungle. Be careful.
Everybody needs it back.
Has arrived.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Gank.
That's too bad. Enemy spotted.
I would rotate, but I think I need to actually stick around in case they want to go fire or some shit.
Your middle tower is under attack.
The goal here. Enemies in left lane.
Attack the gold. That's too bad.
Your team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
My way.
Destroyed the Fire Jet.
No, the Thor wall! Dude, the Thor almost got me killed. I had an inkling that they were gonna do fire, so I'm glad I stuck around, but that sucks, man. I should have gone on a bit earlier. They bursted it so fast.
Bye. Your team has destroyed a left enemy tower.
Enemy spotted. Enemies in right lane.
I thought I saw something, but I wasn't sure. I can definitely feel the gold decrease.
Enemies in right lane. That's too bad.
Your right tower is under attack. Killing spree.
Halt.
There's no running from me.
Chase the enemy. Gang. Chase the enemy.
Judgment is my domain. My stuff.
Well, we just got cooked.
Down. An ally has been slain. Shut down.
Another chance.
Deicide.
I feel like I would be almost like full build by now with the old gold, like gold pool.
Enemies in right lane. Woo-hoo!
But oh well.
Your right tower is under attack. Your right
Okay.
tower has
Hot
been destroyed.
golly. Hot golly.
I kind of just wasted my ult
careful,
trying to
right. Your middle tower is under attack.
chase them.
Your right phoenix is under attack. Your right phoenix has been destroyed. Your middle tower is under attack.
I think I'm putting too much faith in this full damage chuck. It's good in lower elo, but if you're against anyone competent, you're probably gonna shit on it. It's just kind of fun though.
Bye. That's too bad. The enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury. An ally has been slain. Double kill.
Ouch. We just all went in and died. Wild. Get him.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your Titan is under attack.
That sucks.
Bye.
That was just not a whole lot of team play, unfortunately, when we got into team fighting.
Defeat.
Oh, we kind of just lost by giving them free fire.
Your left tower is
Yeah, I
under
didn't get
attack.
shit off this game.
An ally has left.
Oh well, that is unfortunately all I kind of have time for now, so... Tragic. I really want to keep playing, because that was actually fun, despite it, you know, being a bit unfortunate losing that in the end. Maybe I can squeeze one last in. Maybe I can. I'm sure they won't mind. I'll keep an eye out though. If I miss the queue, I will stop. Looks like I definitely missed the queue. Well, I'm just gonna stop then. I don't want to end up in a baby game. That's not why I'm queuing right now. Hey, Emperor, what's up, man? I missed the queue, so I'm just gonna stop here. I was gonna continue, but looking at Nika's queue, I missed it. I gotta do chores. And by chores, I mean I have a dog, so I gotta take care of him now. But thank you guys for watching as always. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. Bye.